Hi, it's Mr. Mike from the Sherburne Public Library with another episode of Storytime. Do you remember what month it is? It's February. Have you had fun during February? Our poem is called February is Fun. Spread your arms apart. February has so much to do. Now make them short together. In such a very short time. The month with only 28 days, or sometimes 29. Groundhogs, Valentines, and presidents too, looking for shadows and giving our hearts. February has so much to do. Speaking of hearts, let's count our Valentines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What color are the Valentines? They're red. Let's sing 10 red Valentines. 1 red, 2 red, 3 red Valentines, 4 red, 5 red, 6 red Valentines, 7 red, 8 red, 9 red Valentines, 10 red Valentines. Great job. Okay, today our book is about what animal? Here, I'll open up the whole jacket so you can see. What's that animal there? It's a bear, yeah. Do you know what kind of bear? It's a polar bear. What color is he? He's white. Our book is called Cold Paws, Warm Heart by Madeleine Floyd. Cold Paws, Warm Heart by Madeleine Floyd. Far away in the land of snow and ice lived a large polar bear who was always cold and all alone. His name was Cold Paws. When he was young, Cold Paws tried to play with the other animals. Ooh, who's he trying to play with here? A bunny. But he was too big for their games, and no one wanted to play with him. Oh my goodness, what animal is that? It's a walrus. That's when he started to feel cold inside. What animal do we have there? It's an owl. What sound does the owl make? Hoo hoo. Poor Cold Paws, he was very lonely. He sat alone and shivered. Can you shiver? Brrr. Time passed slowly for Cold Paws. The only thing that kept him company was a silver flute which he played each day to forget his troubles. In the land of snow and ice, there also lived a little girl named Hannah. The people in her village said that no one lived across the snowy plains except Cold Paws, a bear so huge and so cold that if you touched him, you would turn to ice. Do you think that would really happen? I don't know. But one day as Hannah was walking through the forest, she heard some beautiful music. She felt as if the gentle notes were stroking her ears. That night, as she closed her eyes, all Hannah could think of was the beautiful music. She knew she would have to follow it. The next day, Hannah took the same path through the snow. Again, she heard the magical music drawing her closer. It led her out of the great forest, across the snowy plains, and right up to a large iceberg. Look, there's the iceberg. What is an iceberg? It's a big piece of ice that comes up out of the ocean. Hannah crept toward the iceberg and peered around the corner. Right there in front of her was a huge polar bear with a soft, gentle smile. He was playing a silver flute. Hannah could not believe her eyes. She crouched down out of sight and listened until the air fell silent around her. Brrr! Can you go brrr? Brrr! The polar bear shivered. His whole body shook, and the snow beneath Hannah's boots trembled. Oh, look, that's the silver flute he's playing. Hannah knew how miserable it was to feel very cold. So without thinking, she took off her scarf, stepped forward, and placed it right in front of the big polar bear. Hannah held her breath. Very slowly, the polar bear picked up the red woolly scarf and tied it under his big furry chin. He nodded his large heavy head. Hannah smiled. Oh, look, he's got the scarf on. That night, as the stars lit up the sky, Cold Paws thought how lonely his life had become. He pulled the red scarf closer around his neck, but he still felt cold inside. Can you shiver? Brrr! He shivered. Back in the village, on the other side of the forest, Hannah lay in her warm bed and thought about the cold polar bear. The next day, Hannah ran back through the forest across the snowy plains and up to the iceberg. I have an idea. Let's do some jumping jacks to warm you up, she said. Cold Paws looked confused and rubbed his ears. Can you rub your ears? Something about the little girl made him feel better, so he lifted his heavy legs and did his best to jump up and down. Can you jump up and down? Hannah laughed and Cold Paws smiled. I have another idea, said Hannah, and she ran off toward the village. I wonder what she's going to do. As Cold Paws waited for Hannah to return, the sunlight faded and the snow fell steadily through the silence. He blew on his polar bear paws. Can you blow on your paws? Cold Paws had never had such a special day, but he still felt a little cold inside. Brrr! He shivered. When Hannah came back, she held out a steaming mug of hot chocolate. This is for you, she said. Cold Paws took the mug in his soft paws and smelled the sweet drink. He took a large gulp and licked the chocolate off his nose. Where's your nose? He had never tasted anything so delicious, and now he felt only a tiny bit cold inside. I have to go home now, said Hannah. I don't know how to warm you up, but I'll be back to play with you every day. Hannah gave Cold Paws a very big hug, and as she did so, a wonderful thing happened. The cold feeling inside Cold Paws disappeared, and instead he felt a warm glow all over. Oh, remember, they said if she was to touch Cold Paws, she would turn to ice. Did she? No. What happened instead? Cold Paws got all warm. Now that he had a friend, Cold Paws didn't feel cold anymore. That's the end of our story. Cold Paws, Warm Heart by Madeleine Floyd. Okay, our letter of the day is the letter C for cold. Let's sing the alphabet song and find out where the letter C comes in. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Did the C come at the beginning, the middle, or the end? It came near the beginning. In fact, it's the third letter. A, B, C, the third one. Can you think of some things that begin with the letter C? Let's go look for the letter C. Let's go look for the letter C. Let's go look for the letter C. Way down yonder in the library. Picking up C's and putting 'em in the basket. Picking up C's and putting 'em in the basket. Picking up C's and putting 'em in the basket. Way down yonder in the library. Okay, what do we have here? It's a car. Car begins with the letter C. And up next we have cookie. Cookie begins with the letter C. And here we have a cat. Cat begins with the letter C. What sound does a cat make? Meow, meow. And here's another animal. It's a camel. Camel has a C at the beginning. Here we have a piece of corn. Corn begins with the letter C. Corn. Oh, and here we have a camera. Camera begins with the letter C. Oh, here's our capital C and our lowercase c. Oh, and back in our book there was another thing that has C. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yep, here she did. It's a mug, but you could also call it a cup. A cup of hot cocoa. Cocoa begins with the letter C. Or hot chocolate. Chocolate also has a C. It just sounds, because it's got an H there, chocolate. But that's also a C. So those are some other words that have the letter C. And we have some books, if you come to the library, that have the letter C. The Traveling Caterpillar. There's that C. And Pete the Cat. Construction Destruction. Ooh, construction also begins with the letter C. Colors versus shapes. Colors begins with the letter C. Oh, cowboy is not a cowboy. Oh, look, there's a C and there's a C. Oop. I'm not cute. Again, C for cute. Uh-oh. The day the crayons quit. Crayons begins with the letter C. So those are all some books you can come check out at the Sherburne Public Library. Now I have a song called The Animals in the Arctic, which mentions a few of the animals we saw in our book today. So if you would, help me out. We're going to start out first with this walrus. Say walrus. And he's going to go glide, glide, glide. If you can, sing along with me. The walrus in the Arctic goes glide, 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 glide. The walrus in the Arctic goes glide, 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 all day long. Ooh, do you know what this might be? Oh, some say it might be a cat. No, it's actually a fox. Can you say fox? It's an Arctic fox. And he's going to go sneak, sneak, sneak. The Arctic fox in the Arctic goes sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneak. The Arctic fox in the Arctic goes sneak, sneak, sneak. All day long. Oh, look. Oh, it looks like a bunny, but we're going to call it an Arctic hare. Hare is another word for bunny or rabbit. And what do rabbits and bunnies and hares do? They go hop, hop, hop. The Arctic hare in the Arctic goes hop, hop, hop. hop, 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 hop. The Arctic air in the Arctic goes hop, 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 all day long. Oh, look, it's a reindeer. A reindeer's going to go clop, clop, clop. The reindeer in the Arctic goes clop, 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 clop. The reindeer in the Arctic goes clop, 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 all day long. Let's see what's next. Oh, it looks like some sort of fish or maybe a whale. It's called a beluga. Beluga. You might have heard the song Baby Beluga. He's going to go whistle, whistle, whistle. The beluga in the Arctic goes whistle, 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 whistle. The beluga in the Arctic goes whistle, 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 all day long. Here's one we saw in our book. It's an owl, a snowy owl. What sound does the owl make? Whoo, whoo, whoo. The snowy owl in the Arctic goes whoo, 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 whoo. The snowy owl in the Arctic goes whoo, 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 all night long. Oh, here we have a moose. Moose are really big. They're going to go amble, amble, amble. The moose in the Arctic goes amble, 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 amble. The moose in the Arctic goes amble, 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 all day long. And finally now, the star of our book, the polar bear. Now in this case, the polar bear in our story didn't say much, just played the flute. But this polar bear is going to go growl, growl, growl. The polar bear in the Arctic goes growl, 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 growl. The polar bear in the Arctic goes growl, 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 all day long. Great. Okay, it's time for the end of story time. So let's sing our song. But instead of teddy bear, we're going to sing polar bear. So everybody get your polar bears ready. Polar bear, turn around. Polar bear, touch the ground. Polar bear, show your shoe. Polar bear, that will do. Polar bear, reach up high. Polar bear, touch the sky. Polar bear, don't you sigh. Polar bear, wave goodbye. Well, that's it for today. Have a great day and keep on reading.